The story begins 10 years ago. Today, Ak-kun's new neighbor suddenly moved in, so they got to know each other. Suddenly, a girl named Yoshiko got to know Ak-kun. Suddenly, she introduced herself, saying she was 4 years old, but actually, she was 5 years old, because she stopped learning after number 4. So, she didn't know that number 5 existed. The next morning, while he was studying, Yoshiko suddenly appeared and blew straight into Ak-kun's ear, startling him. It turned out she wanted to invite him to play together. So, Ak-kun gave her his banana. Suddenly, when she took a bite, she couldn't believe such a wonderful thing existed. Thinking Ak-kun gave her the banana as a love confession. Thus his childhood began, because she was always close to Ak-kun. Even his first kiss was stolen. Immediately, Ak-kun launched a finishing move to blow Yoshiko away, advising her to never bother him again. But every day she approached him, and that made him training hard every day to be able to stop Yoshiko. But everything was in vain, because she always approached him. Surprisingly, too much training caused side effects, making Ak-kun fall ill. So, Yoshiko visited him and gave him a princess kiss, thinking it would wake the prince. But suddenly seeing the saliva on his mouth, immediately he launched every attack. But each attack was nullified, and she also thought the power of love made Ak-kun healthier. Surprisingly, when the test was handed out today, his score was very low, because lately, he couldn't focus on studying, due to a constant threat beside Ak-kun every day. But pressure creates diamonds. Thinking that if this continues, in the future, Yoshiko will become his wife, then his life would be over. So, he came up with a brilliant plan to make Yoshiko hate him more. Knowing that all girls hate perverts, so he acted like a perverted by behaving lewdly with her every day. But it seemed to work, and it made Yoshiko afraid. She ran away from him every day. But things got a bit out of hand, so Yoshiko counterattacked by giving him her underwear, immediately knocking Ak-kun out. Now, 10 years have passed, but that situation continues every day, and Ak-kun's ultimate technique has reached its peak. Every time she approaches him, he immediately launches a blocking attack. Today is the day of the test results, and Yoshiko is very confident in her abilities, because she always scores 0 on her tests. She said that maybe she's a genius, because no one else could achieve that. Maybe she's friends with Nobita. Yoshiko bragged to Ak-kun, because he is the highest achieving person in the school. Immediately, he took out his test, yet he scored 90 points or more, which shocked Yoshiko. Seeing that, she immediately declared him as her husband, and Ak-kun's finishing move was called upon again. But she acted like a Hollywood actress. Even more surprising, she intended to pull up her underwear to prove her feelings for Ak-kun. Immediately, he stopped her from doing that. Now, Yoshiko says that from childhood to now, she has been eating the banana that Ak-kun gave her. The next day when he went to wake Yoshiko up for school, it was the same as every other day, and every breakfast of hers was a banana. Even Yoshiko's mother doesn't know what to do. She asks Ak-kun to teach and guide Yoshiko, because only he can save her. But even Ak-kun is desperate, thinking the only solution is to throw Yoshiko in jail to change her ways. When Yoshiko gets to class, she meets Sayaka, surprised to see Ak-kun compliment Sayaka as cute, which makes Yoshiko jealous inside, thinking how dare he compliment another girl in front of her. But she talks about Ak-kun saw Yoshika's underwear, so he punched her like a judo move. Yoshiko showed her underwear. Now, Sayaka wants to be friends with Yoshiko, but she thought the world has someone more stupid than herself, so she sympathized to make friends with Sayaka. At the same time, she badmouthed Ak-kun, saying he is too cold-hearted, so no one wants to be friends with him, and his phone's contact list only has 3 phone numbers. Hearing that, Sayaka burst out laughing, so she also became friends with Ak-kun. The next day, Yoshiko planned to show Ak-kun a bikini photo of herself, but his reaction was the opposite, advised Yoshiko to give it up, because he doesn't care. When they arrived at school, both were stopped by the disciplinary committee. Yoshiko was only interested in 2 high-quality grapefruits, yet she managed to get free touching. All it took was $6 for 3 banana, considering a new type of banana about to launch. So, her mouth watered even more, yet Fuki was thinking of another banana type. But Yoshiko explained it was a banana. This made Fuki even more uncertain where to hide. Suddenly, the opportunity came. Yoshiko rushed up and squeezed Fuki's grapefruit off. Immediately Ak-kun unleashed his ultimate technique, punching Yoshiko away while saving Fuki. Thus, her Prince Charming emerged. Afterward, Yoshiko went to the park to play with the kids, but, because she was playing for keeps with the children, so, Ak-kun hit Yoshiko directly on the head. Then they all had a fun time playing together, so, the whole group played superheroes together, with Ak-kun playing the role of the villain. However, we're having so much fun that Yoshiko forgot her mission. Seeing this, Demon King Ak-kun unleashed a finishing move, to defeat the hero Yoshiko. Immediately, the two children rushed to defend her. Seeing this, Yoshiko was very happy, so, all three of them united, to plan how to defeat the Demon King. Suddenly, Ak-kun said, Yoshiko is a big idiot, because she always eats 0 point during exams, which surprised the two children, wondering if they were following the right culture. So, she proposed to execute the plan, but got thrown off defeat by Ak-kun's judo move. Immediately, Ak-kun dragged her back home. The next day, all three of them were on their way to school. Suddenly, a bear-like person appeared, and he complimented Sayaka as cute. Thinking he complimented her, so Yoshiko got excited. She also thought he was cute, thinking that he was lost because he was so playful. So the Bodhisattva Yoshiko appeared, and advised him to return to the right path, but he resisted. Surprisingly, he got slapped by Yoshiko, and she lectured him for a while. Suddenly, he was touched by her words, immediately hugged Yoshiko, and promised to try to change. Both of them have negative IQ levels, so, they successfully became friends. This left Ak-kun and Sayaka stunned for 5 seconds. Now, back at home, turns out Ak-kun also has a younger sister named Ruri, but she's very scared of Yoshiko, because she's afraid that Yoshiko's stupidity could be contagious to her. Yoshiko also switched to teasing mode, because she knew Ruri also eats 0 points just recently in the exam, and said that she's a little idiot. While studying, Yoshiko kept teasing her, making her unable to concentrate. Seeing this, Ak-kun quickly comforted his sister, because he empathized with Ruri. Due to beside him, there's also a big idiot. He also called her a little idiot. Hearing that, Ruri became even sadder, which also left Ak-kun speechless. Immediately, Ruri rushed to Sayaka, hoping she could comfort her. The next day, head of the disciplinary committee Fuki came to Ak-kun's class, thinking about how Ak-kun helped her yesterday, which made Fuki very surprised. So, she thought about the name of their child. Suddenly, Yoshiko sensed something was up, so she quickly countered. Seeing this, Fuki made an excuse to check his black book. Thinking about the inspection made her thoughts turn dark, but to do this, she had to get past the monster Yoshiko. So, the two had an intense battle. However, Yoshiko's skill, Liquoris Radiata. In the end, the victory belonged to the class president. Unexpectedly, she lunged at Ak-kun like a predator, but was unsuccessful. When she woke up, she found a handsome boy next to her. Now, Fuki happily left, but still left an indelible mark on Ak-kun. That afternoon, everyone visited Yoshiko's house, but seeing Sayaka's cute appearance, Yoshiko's mother became a bit wary of her, because she thought Sayaka might seduce her daughter's future husband. Unexpectedly, she intended to check the girl's underwear, to judge her lewdness based on the color. And where did the handcuffs come from? Was she also going to catch criminals? It was also this trick that attracted Yoshiko's father back then. Fortunately, at the most critical moment, Ak-kun rescued Sayaka. To prevent people from fighting, she decided to take off her clothes, and the surprising result was pure white. At this point, Yoshiko's mother felt relieved. Today, Yoshiko went to the park to play with the children again, but they encountered a white dog. While the children ran away in fear, she charged forward to fight. As a result, even she was bitten on the head by it. Immediately, the white dog turned into a steed, and this beast was quite peculiar. Thinking that it could use all of Ak-kun's martial arts to defeat it, but she forgetting how to use them, Yoshiko finally fell to the ground. Knowing that this dog had been abandoned by its owner, Yoshiko eventually decided to adopt it. On that day, while the idiot was eating a banana, she noticed the dog acting inexplicably intoxicated. Now, she decided to jog with Sayaka to this banana tree place. At this point, they're at the supermarket to buy water, but they spot a doll that resembles Yoshiko. So, she immediately grabs one. As a result, Yoshiko only had a little money left and she still wanted to buy another doll, and off they run as if they've never run before. By late afternoon, they arrive at the countryside where the uncle farmer is bewildered, because Yoshiko came all this way just to say thanks. Sayaka can't take it anymore and shamelessly asks for money to take the train back home. The next day, Ak-kun is upset for not scoring 100 on his test. So, Yoshiko decides to carefully comfort him. That involves using her mom's handcuffs number 8. After that, he planned to eat Ak-kun, and wanted Ak-kun to become her husband. Fortunately, his skills weren't bad, thanks to his 1,000 years of experience. Then he immediately silenced Yoshiko with a headlock, but still ended up with his face in her chest. Surprisingly, Yoshiko took a photo to send to Sayaka as new evidence. Ak-kun is really irritated by this little nuisance. Suddenly, unleashed a debilitating blow on Yoshiko. But the handcuff key was still in his skirt pocket. Surprisingly, Yuri ran in and immediately saw this scene. She thought he was a pervert, even though Ak-kun the victim here. This morning, Ryu, the leader of the gang from the other day, grabbed Ak-kun to fight, but before he could finish his sentence, he got punched in succession. Turns out the idiots he just wanted to make friends. Yoshiko went to see a superhero show with some nearby kids today, and she even claimed she's the foster sister of the red superhero herself. Surprisingly, a guy playing a monster kidnapped the girl in their group, because the superhero hasn't appeared for a while, so Yoshiko charged into the stands with his mask on. Not wanting she to steal all the glory, the two kids followed suit. Thus, they're just acting, but she's actually punching, and these two fellows are no ordinary kids either. They promptly tell he to stay put, to demonstrate their strength. In the end, Yoshiko ends up stealing all the glory again, and the red superhero is considered part of the public. Today, due to her entirely failed test results, Yoshiko was called to the principal's office. Even the teacher tried to reason with her, but she's innate IQ is just negative, so no matter how much you preach, it doesn't sink in. Now, the teacher handed out a literature test, asking what the emotional context was. The result was mocked by this dumb kid saying, "Teacher 30 and still single. How could she possibly understand? Just pretending to teach me. When I was 5, I had my first kiss. After a lecture like being scolded by my mother. Now, everything's turned upside down." The teacher is criticized by students for being perpetually single. So, who's teaching whom after all? Is the idiot's disease spreading slowly? Surprisingly, the teacher finds some truth in it, so she turns to Ak-kun to clear out the cobwebs for her. However, seeing her own predicament, Ak-kun throws a punch that knocks out the teacher, immediately darting away at top speed. On the rooftop, Ryu prepares to fight Ak-kun, thinking it's a fight to the finish, but before any blows are exchanged, he kneels down and acknowledges defeat. That's because before the battle Yoshiko manipulated Ryu's psychology. Now, it's Ak-kun's birthday. Yoshiko plans to sneak into his room to buy a gift, but the plan is discovered by Fuki, and Sayaka gets dragged into it too. So, they decide to sneak in at night. First, they have to navigate through the hallway obstacles in Ak-kun's house, followed by deadly traps set up Ak-kun to protect his bachelor life. Upon reaching his room, Fuki unexpectedly takes a photo of Ak-kun sleeping on her phone, but she forgets to turn off the flash. Luckily he's blindfolded. Meanwhile, Yoshiko manages to sneakily steal his shorts. Hearing Yuri's footsteps, she's immediately taken down. When they turn around, Yoshiko has already slipped under the covers to sleep, and Fuki sneaks in right after. While sleeping, she hears some noise. Suddenly, Ak-kun wakes up, and can't understand why these strange ladies are here. So, Sayaka quickly explains they just wanted to celebrate his birthday, but, thanks to these two strange ladies, they've ruined everyone's plans. Finally, summer vacation arrives. But, Ak-kun isn't too thrilled, and Yoshiko becomes even more hyperactive. So, Ak-kun had to beat Yoshiko so he could study in peace. Early the next morning, she ran past his house. Turns out Yoshiko had won a ticket to see a magical girl movie. Yuri saw this and wanted to go together. Seeing her like that, Ak-kun reluctantly agreed to join them, but as soon as the movie started, Yoshiko started screaming louder than the dialogue. Seeing that, Ak-kun had to tape shut her mouth. In the end, Ak-kun had to wrap tape around his body, but still, Ruri next to me screamed just as loud, making Ak-kun incredibly irritated. When the main character was about to be defeated, both of them continuously cried, but the whole theater was filled with the voices of the two of them, forcing Ak-kun to handle it himself, immediately defeating Ruri. As for Yoshiko, he also delivered the finishing blow to her. When she woke up, Ruri thought it was a dream because all the homework was done correctly, and the big idiot thought she'd learned magical door opening powers. Helped me go from the theater back home. That day Yoshiko got lucky and won a ticket for a beach vacation. But Fuki found out and said that it was her duty as head of the disciplinary, so the whole group went shopping together to prepare for the trip. But summer vacation was a peaceful study time for Ak-kun, so he wasn't too keen on going. Sayaka immediately complained that he had been studying all day and when would he stop being single. Thinking in this situation he had to marry Yoshiko and ruin his life. So, Ak-kun then had to agree. At this time, Fuki was still dreaming of a romantic night with Ak-kun. When the emotional part reaches its climax, and it was Yoshiko's mother who came. Thanks to her sixth sense, she thought it must be Fuki. It's a danger to Yoshiko if she doesn't stop it. Immediately, Fuki's swimsuit was marked. But before that, she even tried to cut it off. Surprisingly, Ryu managed to stop her in time. But this grandfather was as weak as a snail, so he was thrown into a utility pole by her. And at this moment Ak-kun appeared to stop her, so she blamed Fuki. But he understood this mother and child very well, so he didn't bother to listen. Thus he said, she's an adult now so she has to pay attention to how she speaks with a mother like that. How could the child turn out any different? Before leaving, she crowed like a villain. At the beach, the big idiot started playing a game of smashing watermelons, but ended up hitting himself in the head, while Fuki was on the side showing off her grapefruit to Ak-kun. But Yoshiko discovered them, so she decided to punish Fuki for her bragging. Immediately, Fuki was molded into a sand figure that couldn't move, and Sayaka also received a pair of speakers. But it's quite strange, you know, now, the project isn't even finished yet, so Fuki apologized to the great presence of her melons, which made the big idiot even more irritated. After a while, they were already towering high. Ak-kun had to handle Yoshiko promptly, to prevent consequences in time. And he broke the support pillar because it looked too magnificent. As soon as they arrived at the hot spring, both immediately argued over Ak-kun's banana. Both of them wanted to verify it with their own eyes. So, they decided to cooperate and secretly observe Ak-kun. Immediately after, everyone knew the result. The big idiot got hit in the face with a mallet. Fuki also denied knowing anything, she claiming it was just a coincidence. The next day, Yoshiko's family had to return to their hometown, so Yoshiko gave the white dog to Ak-kun to take care of, thinking it would be as foolish as its owner, so he didn't want to interact with it. However, the white dog was very clever. It seemed to understand what he was saying. When Ak-kun watched the movie, it came to a touching part, unexpectedly. It also knew how to cry, which surprised Ak-kun greatly, truly astonishing. But when he returned dog white to Yoshiko, he won't admit that he really likes this dog. This makes it sad. That disappointed it, so the dog left. Unexpectedly, the dog and Ak-kun played a touching scene in the movie. When the two comrades left, the next day was the festival. And like every year, the dancing brothers will have their dance part stolen by a girl during the festival. That was Yoshiko with her unique dancing style. Surprisingly, she dances like the idols on TikTok. But her dancing is very bad. The dancers couldn't bear it. They immediately jumped into dancing with Yoshiko. The next day in the teacher's consultation room. But the person being consulted has changed. She spent the whole summer just flirting with boys, going back and forth. She still can't find a boyfriend. She tries to attack Ak-kun, but he says that she is 28 years old, so it is not suitable. Yoshiko plans to comfort the teacher by pretending to be a handsome young man. Then she went to meet the teacher in the hallway. Surprisingly, the teacher really falls for Yoshiko, thinking, I'd rather choose randomly than choose wrongly. Single for too long, what can she do? Just when it gets to the suspenseful part where she might kiss the young man, Yoshiko immediately stops. But she speaks sweet words very well, causing the teacher to completely fall for her. Surprisingly, the white dog has been very obedient since living with Yoshiko. So, today Yoshiko decided to name it, but she likes to name the dog Cat, to make it different from other dogs. Ak-kun also really likes this dog, so he also wants to give it a nice name, thinking it's different from its foolish owner, causing the two to become jealous, and both want to name this dog. So, a battle ensued. Thinking that people don't know it's a dog, she suggested naming it Dog, and made it choose which name it liked. By going towards that person, due to the pressure, it ran away from home. Today Yoshiko found her classmates, so she wanted to get to know them. Also had to point out what color underwear to wear, to avoid stealing Ak-kun from her. But, the pink-haired girl has academic performance on par with Yoshiko, yet always refuses. As a result, Yoshiko follows them closely until they agree to play with her. To shake her off, they suggested playing hide and seek. Thinking this is her favorite game, Yoshiko quickly agreed. Finally, the next day's class did not see her come to class. Surprisingly, Yoshiko had disappeared for 3 days. This scared the other three, so they searched for her everywhere. Finally, Yoshiko crawled out of a sewer and claimed victory, so they agreed to play another time, probably planning to hide for a whole week this time. The next day, Yoshiko went looking for the three again in class and saw a pink-haired girl preparing to flirt with a boy. Only the black-haired girl had a boyfriend of over 3 months. Now, they eagerly wanted her to tell how her relationship had developed. If they haven't done anything, it's just comradeship, not love. Yoshiko began giving romantic advice, saying their relationship has reached its end if she doesn't take the initiative, and forced her to confess to her boyfriend in front of the class. After some psychological manipulation, she confessed her love to her boyfriend, and she brought the speaker to the rooftop to announce the news to the whole school. The next day, Fuki secretly watched Ak-kun in the hallway. She even imagined the two of them growing old together. This was discovered by Sayaka. She said if Fuki wanted to win over Ak-kun, she should see how he reacts to her first, and to be honest, Fuki was on par with Yoshiko's about stupidity, stalking Ak-kun like a pervert every day, so, Sayaka explained. And at that moment Fuki realized the harsh truth. She was only behaving like that in front of her crush. Today, Yoshiko and Dog White went to Sayaka's house to play. Sayaka's house has a very cute dog, which made Dog White fall in love. Unexpectedly, it found a bone from somewhere to give as a gift, but the other dog didn't accept it. Suddenly, it got licked on the paw once, so it didn't wash its paw for a week to keep the scent. Now, the school's cultural festival has arrived. Yoshiko volunteered to be the class representative, but she doesn't even know what the festival is, just enthusiastic for the sake of being active. At this time, the pink-haired girl also wanted to get this position, but this time Ak-kun sided with Yoshiko, because he knew both of them were equally stupid, and they would definitely turn the class into a market. Now, this girl mocked him for being smart, but not having even 2 friends, making Ak-kun frustrated, unable to argue, then crying and complaining. In the end, Yoshiko and her friends decided to do it together. That night they decided to stay to finish the work. Who would have thought? So, those 2 idiots started gaming all night and did nothing. Even during class time, they sleep peacefully. Now, their class is having a maid cafe, but there are no customers. Suddenly, Ryu passed by and was pulled into the cafe. That evening, Yoshiko discovers that Fuki is rejecting a boy's confession. Hearing this, her nosy instincts kick in. But if the one being rejected is Fuki, wouldn't she be devastated? At least you should do something to commemorate the occasion for them. But that lady is even worse. Suddenly, she asks that guy to check her pomelos, but right as Ak-kun happens to pass by, Fuki immediately does a 180-degree turn and sent that guy crashing to the ground. Now, they're off together to celebrate, because completing the cultural festival, but it's too noisy in here. So, Ak-kun can't study and the group starts quarreling. Sayaka insists she's drinking barley tea, but actually it's a whole glass of beer, so she was completely drunk. And then, Sayaka, being her usual clueless self, teases her about being flat-chested. This prompts her to undress to prove she's at least as big as a lemon. But, just as quickly, she returns to her comfort zone. The wall, turns out she uses a little trick, a chest pad, but, to her surprise, it slips and there's no helping her now. The next day, the pink-haired girl wanted to get a piercing, but she's afraid it might hurt, so she hesitates. Just then, Sayaka appears and offers her full support. However, this only brought trouble to the other girl, and Yoshiko immediately thinks her sister is craving attention from boys, so she wants to beautify herself to attract them. She also feels jealous seeing others who have boyfriends and can go out and have fun all the time, with Yoshiko enthusiastically helping those in need. In the end, both of them unsuccessfully pierced her ears, but she hesitated. She really liked it, but getting a piercing is so painful. Today is a day off for Yoshiko and the white dog to walk together, but it's a little different. They even raced an old man on a Z1000, but something was off. Furthermore, Yoshiko dog riding skills surprised him, because that posture is not affected by the wind. Indeed, it's a peak technique, and both eventually won. In the evening, Yoshiko went out to play with the young group. Now, the whole group is role-playing like in a movie, but the boy holding the dinosaur accidentally drops it. Suddenly Yoshiko goes into revenge mode. But, you're overreacting. Sis, this isn't a horror movie. Today, Fuki aimed to win over Ruri to make Yoshiko jealous, but Yoshiko's mom caught her. In just a moment, She managed to snatch Fuki's underwear, truly a skill worth learning. Then she said Fuki knows about the girl in front, but that pervert let it all hang out, so they both start a 500-round epic battle. But it's incredible that neither wins or loses. Finally, with 60 years of love experience, Yoshiko's mother won now. She holds Fuki tightly, then uses her foot to lift up her skirt. But clearly she's still wearing underwear underneath. It turns out, in the blink of an eye, Fuki managed to steal Ruri's pants. Now, both of them leave in peace, leaving Ruri standing there bewildered, not understanding what just happened. Only when she goes to the bathroom does the girl realize she's lost something. The next day, while Yoshiko was walking her dog, suddenly saw Ruri holding a 0-point test. So, they decided to test if she had any talents. Talent knows no age. But, no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't demonstrate her own talents. So, Ruri started to feel desperate. Am I really so useless? So, she decided to ride her bicycle that day. But, she went to ask Yoshiko to help. It's just for fun. It doesn't help anything. Surprisingly, Ruri was trying hard to succeed. But, then Yoshiko turned to look at a dragonfly, making Ruri fly like a bird. But, this couldn't stop Ruri. Now, the girl was riding a bike until the evening, but, the result still couldn't climb a step and fell down. Surprisingly, Yoshiko immediately praised Ruri. She was the most diligent person, but, the result was that day still didn't put Ruri in a better mood. Today Yoshiko is feeling down. Because the banana ice cream is sold out, suddenly, she notices Ryu injured, because having found out about that store, so, he got robbed by a gang because of that. She decides she'll teach them a lesson to avenge Ryu. Swiftly, she takes care of the two door guards in the blink of an eye. This is where the bananas come into play. At this time, the boss is on the rooftop. Before he could hear the full report, unexpectedly, one of them got punched in the face by this grandma and shut up. He arrogantly claims to be the strongest of the 4 heavenly kings in the area. And Yoshiko promptly demonstrates her banana peeling technique. With just one peeled banana, she swiftly defeats her opponent. And every single one of them gets a taste of her banana attacks, truly showcasing her profound martial arts skills. She then explains that her motivation was revenge for her beloved banana ice cream. Right as she lets out a resounding cry, the gang leader gets a whole banana shoved into his mouth. The next morning, the big idiot plans to skip school and go out with the big white cat. But, Ak-kun stops him. It immediately thinks of its crush, the golden retriever girl. So, it picks a jasmine flower to give to her. While walking, it suddenly notices a boy being swept away by a strong current, and without hesitation, the dog White dives in to rescue Kid. Next, on its way, it coincidentally saves another boy from a car accident. However, the boy's mother mistakes the dog White for attacking her child, so, it has to run away quickly. It wonders if today it stepped in its own poop or not. Somehow, it ends up wandering into a bank being robbed. Suddenly, it agilely dodges bullets to avoid being hit. Then it unleashes the legendary dog kick to finish off the robber. It even gives a flower to the crying girl to comfort her. Where do everything dog can find such a good breed, and so, it bids farewell to everyone, to go visit its crush. That's it for today's video. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the upcoming videos. Thank you all for watching. Love you always.